Welcome everybody to Armchair Outdoors. Hey Armchair Outdoor enthusiasts. Today let's take a look at what I call the last resort. I introduced this when I went through my gear list for the Bridger Mountain night hike. This right here is just a ditty bag full of items that I use for safety, first aid, signals, survival, that type of stuff. It does include some daily use items, and I'll show you everything that's in here right now. One of the great features about this is the whole package weighs in at 1 pound. That's great because it's lightweight, it has great use, multifunctional. It goes everywhere I go, whether I'm hiking, camping, backpacking. It doesn't matter what I do, what activity. When I hunt, it goes with me. Now, a few things will go in this depending on the activity, the length of the trip and everything else. Some toilet paper, water purification tablets, Tinder Quick, fire starter tabs, Kleenex, stuff like that. That all gets supplemented in depending on the trip itself. This emergency bivvy is part of my ultralight sleep system, and during the winter it goes with the sleeping bag. During the summer it goes in here. Everything sort of functions, but the basic necessities are all here, and let's dig into that right now. As we separate out the components from the ditty bag, you can see that we have 3 packages of items and 1 water container. This is a Platypus 2-liter hoser container for extra water, emergency water, whatever the need might be. Now let's take a look at baggie number 1. Baggie number 1 is most all of our first aid needs. As we dig into the first Ziploc baggie, we have a tincture of benzoin that used to be a Clear Eyes container. All I did was take the labels off and fill it with the benzoin. I've got 2 packages each of triple antibiotic ointment and of hydrocortisone cream. I've got 2 packages of Wound Seal. It's a topical powder, helps stop bleeding. 4 of the large fabric strip band-aids. You can cut them down and make them smaller, but you sure can't make them any bigger. So I go with the large ones. 4 alcohol prep pads and 2 sterile gauze pads that can be pulled apart if necessary or cut up. What I do carry is some pain medicine. I carry Tylenol and Sudafed. This is a 48-hour supply. I don't carry any ibuprofen. Basically, that will help to thin the blood, and I don't want to do that. I want to make sure that the blood clots if I have any other injuries. So I take Tylenol, helps with any fever or pain, and that's all I take. Also in this first aid pack, we have last few items. We have our fabric tape for bandaging up any wounds, sore spots, helping to put a splint on, duct tape. This will be for blisters, whatever. It's fairly smooth on one side, works well. Gear repair also with that. Whatever. Duct tape has hundreds of uses. We have our Dermatone sunscreen, our Clear Eyes, and our medicated chapstick. That's baggie number 1. Let's move on to baggie number 2. As we open up the baggie, these items are used less often than these, so these are more accessible. Reflective guy line, this is Kelty Triptease. Light My Fire Mini Fire Starter, this is the Fire Steel. Compass with a thermometer or temperature gauge. And a space pen, this is their thin little ultralight one, and a Write in the Rain notebook. Keep notes, journal, important information. As you can see, right in the edge here, I've inserted a couple needles. Those would be for sewing gear or suturing yourself. And in the back, we have a granite gear repair patch and some tenacious tape by McNett. Both of these for gear repair or to fix my waterproof stuff sack for my sleep system. Notice I don't have a whistle. The whistle is already attached to my backpack. Most every backpack nowadays has a whistle built into the sternum strap. So I don't need to have an extra whistle sitting in this pack, as I'm not going to go anywhere without one of those packs. And if I do, I will find a whistle that I've buried in my extra gear somewhere and add it to this pack. This baggie contains the rest of our safety gear. We've got our SOL signal mirror, a couple extra batteries that will help power our Photon micro light. This is the Freedom micro light. Has a lot of different settings. Runs for a very long time. It's a fabulous little light. Blaze orange flagging tape. Dental floss, which is fabulous as fishing line, suturing, sewing your gear, tying restrictive band for lymphatic infection or a bite. There's so many things that this can be used for. And our little Swiss Army knife. That is basically all the contents of baggie number 2. Now for baggie number 3. Baggie number 3 does not contain this SOL emergency blanket. I've reused this as it's very waterproof and still fairly lightweight. Inside we have one pair of smart wool hiking socks and emergency energy rations, some almond butter, some Stinger waffles, some MicroPure water purification tablets, along with 2 of these dehydrated wet wipes and 4 Tinderquick fire starter tabs. I'll show you these and how they work a little bit later. So there you have it. This is then the Last Resort Ditty Bag. Quite a few of the items I will end up using on a daily basis. I'll use this Light My Fire Steel all the time, building a campfire, starting my stove, the compass, stuff like that. Some of these other items, Photon microlight, signal mirror, flagging tape, these items I won't use at all unless the need arises. Nothing ever gets reduced down from what you see here. Although I may add some things depending on the trip, this is my basic go anywhere, the Last Resort Ditty Bag. If you have any questions, please let me know. I'd be happy to answer them. And stay tuned, because I'm going to be doing a follow-up video that'll demonstrate the use of this tincture of benzoin the use of these dehydrated wet wipes, and how to properly get a fire started with this Light My Fire steel and the Tinder Quick tabs. Happy trails!